for today's session, we are going to study how to detect an orientation, or how to detect if the application or the device is on landscape or portrait. This is how to just detect if the orientation of a device, and this will help us to draw some UI or to paint some UI where you want to draw different things according to the orientation of the device. Sometimes, for example, in this example, we are going to use a grid view where we will be displaying different number of tires on the row based on the orientation of the device. If the orientation is a landscape, now we are going to display big number of tires and on the same row, and when it's a portrait, we are going to display few numbers. So this will help us in a different way, like you see on different apps where the design change or the UI change when the orientation change. So for now, we are going to study how to detect that the orientation of the device or the screen have been changed. So there is two ways. We will see all two ways and we will be using them. So let's first of all add the grid view. This grid view will help us to detect that the orientation has changed. So first of all, let's draw a grid view here that will be using to detect that orientation will change. When the orientation will change, we'll be changing the view of the grid view. Will change the number of tires to be displayed on the screen. So let's go. So with this grid delegate closest axis count, let's put like 3, and with the item builder, then here we'll return a container. Then here we'll have the collection box decoration. Let's have a color, then you have colors dot primaries, then you have random dot next int colors dot primaries dot length. So we are going to add a container with a random color. So you can see that we have a grid view with random color. So let's put spacing to make sure it's easily visible. So main axis spacing, we have 5. So you can see that now our grid view is well labeled with different and you have to add, of course, some padding to make sure that it's not really attached to the edges of the screen. So let's add like 15. Well, no, let's add 5 to make sure that we are maintaining the aspect ratio. So after adding this, so for now we are going to detect the orientation, and when the orientation is changed, we will be changing the number of tires that are being displayed on the same row. For now, you can see that we are displaying 3 tires on the same row, but we want, if you go to the landscape, we'll be displaying 5 or 6. So let's change. You can see that here we have 3. We want that in this landscape mode we'll be having like 6 or 7, but it will never be a good idea to have 7 rows when the screen is in a portrait mode. So let's get it back again in the portrait mode. So then here we have the first way to use is declare orientation. So var orientation, that will be equal to media query. We'll be using media query dot of context dot orientation. So when you get this orientation, and here will be, we check that if orientation equal to orientation dot portrait, will be displaying 3, and otherwise will be displaying 6, and you have to move constant so that it will happen. So you can see that we are displaying 3 rows while in the portrait, but when we turn to landscape, the tires will be 6. And I think this will be helping you so that to maintain the UI, and whenever you are designing, you have to keep changing the orientation to make sure that the user will be able to use the phone in another mode. But even if you don't want to maintain this, it means that you have to disable these options. So there is an option to disable so that the app will remain the portrait. The next course I'll be showing you this. So but for now I'm showing you how to maintain this with orientation. Another way to control this is to use orientation builder. Instead of using this media query, here let's delete this media query, then we use wrap with the builder. Let's wrap this grid view with a builder. This builder will change into auto orientation builder. Here we have a context and orientation. So you can see that we have orientation from orientation builder. So now even this can work. So let's see if it really works after refreshing the app. You can see also it can detect that the orientation has changed and the build with different number of tires. And this will not only work on the grid view, but also other kind of design that you want. If you want to change something, how things are aligned, you will be checking this orientation every time. Otherwise, the design or the UI will mess up when someone changes to landscape. You will start missing some features, missing where things are not scrollable, you can not see something. But when you keep maintaining to while designing, it will help you a lot. Or if you don't want to maintain it because it takes time, you have to disable it. In the next course I'll show you how to disable it, and make sure you subscribe for getting the notification on the next video. Thank you so much.